deal with the instantaneous cat cam redemption. Hang on. It was a bump. Ugh. I mean, it's absolutely fair. No. No. Yeah, you don't want to be picked up this morning. Surprise, surprise. Ugh. Hello? You just want to hide as if you are bashful. I caught some bullshit. How is everybody? Thank you so much for stopping by the lab. Hello, Zelda. And yeah. I was wondering how long that would last. Let's move that just a little bit further. Okay. Oh boy, I am noticing all kinds of scuffness. Ooh. Okay, so why is that? Oh, right. Oh, I forgot. All right. So, welcome back, everybody. Hope you all had a fantastic holiday, or continuing to have a fantastic holiday. It would appear that I changed some things on the layout side of the stream and didn't finish them. So, if you're wondering why there's just a random label down at the bottom of the screen and no border, well, yeah, that's just me not finishing the layout changes. But oh well. Let's see here. In fact, let's just go ahead and jump into this screen. And let's see here. Oh yeah, that looks all kinds of silly. Oh, that's okay. It's gonna bother me a little bit, but only a little bit. Also wanted to check the microphone levels because I did change the microphone to be a little bit louder. I was listening back to one of the prior recordings, and I recognized how quiet it was to me. At least on my end, the comparison of, say, a YouTube video to my video, very different. And I'm actually seeing the microphone spike a little bit into the yellow. Might be okay. But just a quick sound check there, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. Oh,
good. My slow clap processor made it into this thing.
Good morning, cousin. How you doing? Thank you so much for stopping by. So good to see you. All right. Now I need to remind myself of where we were. The last thing that I did. Ah, yes. Bot test package. I don't think I updated the stream manager, but that's okay. So let's take a look here. Don't really know how volume stuff works, but I can't really turn up anything. It feels like I'm maxing out the mic. Turn the game up louder. It's me. I think you may have to futz with the gain settings, feel. Because that's the big change that I made with mine, is that I turned the gain like completely off on the microphone, and now I'm futzing around with volume, gain, and all that fun in OBS instead, because apparently that's easier. Question mark. Good morning. Let's see here. So, as a since this is apparently the 29th stream, which is insanity to think about. Just a quick refresher, especially since we've got a new viewer. So we are attempting to build a Twitch bot in Go, or a chat bot in Go, depending on how you look at it. And at the moment, we are connected, which I have not actually connected the bot. Stream, MetchBot, source. Source that too. And go run. Running. Only use OBS, don't know about anything else. Same. I'm only using OBS, although technically I'm using Loopback to do all the like the background music and all that fun, but it's mostly because of Mac. So we've got the bot connected. The bot is responding to commands. It's responding to subs and raids and all those fun bits. Unfortunately, the channel point redemption is now broken because of PubSub. But we'll get back to that a little bit later. We have a couple of options when it comes to starting this thing up. We've got different functions, different features that we've got enabled or disabled from flags, from command line flags. We've got Ledger and Secret Store. This can either be Redis and Vault, respectively, or a file ledger or an in-memory ledger, and environment variables accordingly. Gives us a little bit of ease of starting up locally versus having to deploy Redis, having to deploy Vault, and then continue using them. Although that is going to be a goal of mine here very soon. So I am almost done with the Unraid box. Almost done. There's just one part that I'm waiting on to come in, which I think it's coming in on Monday. And as soon as I get that going, I am rebuilding my Kubernetes cluster. And as soon as my Kubernetes cluster is rebuilt, we are deploying the bot to this damn box. Because by God, if there's something that I've been wanting to do for so long now, it's deploy this bot. And yes, I could deploy the bot to AWS, but AWS is, at least in the things that I'm trying to do. All right. So, where we last left off, we were working on a couple of test package enhancements. Since we are severely lacking on the testing side of things, we were attempting to make that a little bit better. And one of the things that, with a recommendation from Really Frank, we created this bot test package, and we have a make IRC message, which is a very kind of low-level version of the functionality that I was really trying to go for. It's a very low-level, like, tell me the body, tell me the sender, tell me the command, yada yada. Basically, tell me everything, which is all well and good. But I think it makes more sense to have a cleaner API for the rest of the tests to use, because I don't believe the rest of the tests really want to be inundated in what does it mean to be a priv message, what does it mean to be a raid, yada yada. So what I would like to is I was wondering what something like make raid message, for example, would look like. And we want to say raider is a string, raid size an integer, channel is a string, and I don't believe we really wanted anything else on the tag side. I don't think we did. So really all of this is meant to do is it's meant to create an IRC message, which is the kind of the basis for what Twitch chat is. And what I would really like to do is I would like to write a test, an end-to-end test, kind of an end-to-end test. I should call it an integration test, technically. I want to write an integration test that takes an IRC style message, pipes it through the IRC client, gets it through to the bot, gets that through to the RAID handler, and see if the RAID handler spits out the appropriate message. So for this, I think I need to go back to my message test, and I need to grab this, and I need to do that. Wrap real quick. And so the important things, as far as I can tell, we got we got that part. Ooh, I'm actually noticing that there's a bit of an issue with this part. I think this was supposed to just be sender.tmi.twitch.tv, I think. There was something special to that, I don't remember. Yes. But for a raid message, we can just return make IRC message. The body can be empty. Sender here would also be empty. The command would be user notice. The channel would be MedgeLabs. And the tags. So this would be tags equals map string. Oh, right. I think I keep wanting this to work, but it doesn't work. So what we can do is tags. Now we basically just have to populate the these tags that are up here. So display name equals Raider. Message ID equals raid. And then message param display name. I'm still skeptical that it is actually camel case and not dashed. But I feel like I've fixed that before. Here. And then message param viewer count equals raid set. All right. Hello. Change to this. Change to that even. This needs to be channel and tags. Right. Stracom dot I2A, I think it is. Like so. All right, so double checking, we've got the message ID, we've got the display name, the message param display name, the message param viewer count. There's no body. There's no sender, technically. There's user notice, channel, and tags. That seems relatively correct. Allegedly. If I just write by myself, I'll always use camel case. Don't know where or when that got hooked in my brain. Same. I think for me, it got hooked in my brain because of not necessarily because of C. I feel like Java probably had more of a hook on that. Although technically, my C code was camel cased. My C code was not underscored. I forget what that's called. Is it? I don't remember what it's called, to be perfectly honest. The use of underscores always bothered me because it's always like shift underscore, and now it's now it makes no difference because it's just lower and then J. But for some reason, underscores always bothered me because of the extra shift, so my extra pinky movement, and so I tried to avoid them at all cost. Let me see. Is that actually going to do what I want it to do? I think so. Could be C++ then? Possibly. I feel like it's whatever language is earliest and you use the most probably has a pretty high impact on how you write certain pieces of code, which is actually kind of worrying me because my next gig is going to be Python. As you can see, I've primarily been a Go, C, Java, like that realm. I feel like some of the tendencies of those languages are going to come out, and the Python developers are going to be very furious with me. Whoops. I feel like I should probably do something here. If sender does not equal to empty, then do that. Else sb dot write string tmi dot twitch dot tv, because more or less, as far as I've seen at least, when there's no sender, then they do this. They just include tmi.twitch.tv. Whereas with the sender, there's the there's the larger version. Edif. Oh dear. I am going up. Yeah, there we go. Let me grab that back and plonk that there. Yeah. So if there's a sender, we use the full version, which would be the equivalent of if somebody in chat is sending a message, which of course I don't see anymore. I feel like that was the whole point of why I did this. I feel like I don't really need this anymore. I feel like I actually just need the raw IRC strings, which is making me question the use of the log handler. Which, for context, so we have a handler, the concept of a handler off of the bot, which is basically just kind of like a receiver or a consumer. There are IRC messages that are being received by the bot, or just messages that are being received by the bot, and then the bot will broadcast that event out to all of our handlers. So there's a handler right now whose sole purpose is to do this. It's to log the message out to the console. And originally I did that because I basically was having a lot of trouble with the pop-out chat on Twitch. I haven't had an issue with the pop-out chat as of late. And there's a part of me that is tempted to remove that and replace this with just logs, if you will. Just like straight IRC message logs. Because that's kind of what I keep coming back to. What I keep coming back to needing. I might do that. Yeah, I think I might do that. But first, we need to go to bot test packet IRC test, and we need to write a test for our test because our test needs to be testable. Did that make sense? Let's see here. So we've got test make IRC, which is doing what it's supposed to do. Next, I want to test make raid message, and T is a testing.t. Because Go's testing framework is amazing. Expected equals, and then we're going to change that from assistant1 to MedgeLabs. Oh, thank you very much. So we've got, yeah. I like my brackets to mark blocks. Exactly. I'm not gonna lie, I'm going to struggle with that. There was a part of me that was very tempted to write some type of like Vim plugin or write something that would basically allow me to write Python with brackets, but then when it actually saved out to the file, that it would just replace the brackets with indentation. But that's not going to do me any favors. That's not going to do me any favors at all. So, I'm trying to force myself to get used to it. Okay, so expected is this, result equals make raid message. And let's see here. I forget the order already. So it's raider, raid size, and channel. Feels like it should be channel first. and then Raider and raid size. So Raider is going to be Medj Labs. Raid size is going to be 1, and channel is going to be Medj Lab. And if result does not equal to expected, this is like the literal, is literally the simplest of tests, simplest types of tests, which I am very keen on. Test funk. Fail. Okay. Expected blank, but got blah. Why did I get empty? Why did we get empty? That's not right. Bot test packet IRC. Double checking. I did indeed do that. And I did indeed do that. Cure. Result equals make message. Yeah. Now, why would that be happening? It'd be a lot of fun with syntax errors. I am not looking forward to that level of fun. I felt like I was doing something silly, but I was trying to figure out what that was. No, that's exactly what it should be, I think. Yeah. So why would this be returning an empty string? Especially if you get told there's an indentation error, but the action. Yeah. I've seen some pretty wild errors come about. If body does not equal to blah. I've seen some very, very wild errors, and I've also seen I mean, I've used Python before, but it's been a hot minute since doing so. And the last memory of Python that I remember, it was before I understood the value, the true value, if you will, of breaking things down so that you don't really have to fight with heavily nested code, at least not fight with heavily nested code as much. But oh boy, I mean, it was like heavily nested, and it was all because one block was indented inward one where it was supposed to be indented outward one. That caused kind of a chain reaction for the remainder of the logic. So you think it's somewhere further down, so you try to fix that, but then it goes further up, and then it's kind of like a chain link all the way back up. Except that I never found where the issue actually was. Like, that's how deeply nested this crap was. Yeah. So I ended up just rewriting it all from scratch. And somehow, miraculously, that worked. Don't know how, but it worked. Fail. Okay, there we go. I just realized something. Can you spot what it is? So I think there's a couple of things that we're gonna have to fix here. Which I know this is probably not the most interesting of things. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Yeah, so one of the problems that I'm going to be running into is that I don't really have any control over the order of tags, so I can't really do the thing that I was just trying to do, which is basically be lazy and just say, okay, this is what I should get, this is what I get, and then if it doesn't do that, then bleh. That's not really going to work. So, what I think I'll do is I'll make a little thing. Hey, good morning, Guitar. Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab, mate. How you doing? Hope you had a fantastic holiday. Hope you and Lem are doing well. Throw a little Lem in the chat. And we're gonna throw a shout out to Guitar in the chat, because Guitar is a fantastic streamer and a fantastic friend. He deserves all the love and support. Let's see here. So this is message is a string. It's gonna turn a bool. Turn strings dot contains we'll say message and tag. Message mt.sprintf. I kind of I didn't really explain this, but my brain kind of recognized that this concept of finding a tag was going to be particularly repetitious, is what I'll choose to call it. And value. Right, that import in. So I basically recognized that I was going to be doing more or less the same thing over and over again. Strings.contains, message, fmt.sprintf, blah equals blah. Effectively, it's the way that you can check if a tag exists, is to do something like that. And that didn't really read particularly well. So instead, I wanted to say something like this. If not as tag, result, and we'll say display name. Let me actually set up a there. So raider equals medlabs, raid size equals 1, and get rid of expected. I'm gonna get rid of that. And then for here, raid size declared but not used. Yeah, we'll get there. So more or less, because raid message is very much emphasized around the tags. The tags identify it as a raid message to begin with. Got invalid IRC raid message. Let's say missing tag. And you know what? We don't even have to be that verbose, I don't think. There we go. I think we could just say missing tag %s. Or we could even just do missing tag display name. Yeah, we just keep it simple. Ate far too much chocolate playing 11 last night. I I feel you there. Um, for the first, I went to my parents for Christmas. This is probably the first time I think in years that I didn't go to my grandparents for Christmas. Well, that's actually not true. Because the year before that, I was sick and I didn't go. But um, yeah, this is the first time that I didn't do that. I just went to my parents, and that was the first time that I'd had banana bread in a very long time. And I should probably be a little more specific. That's the first time that I've had any kind of bread in a very long time. And that made it very difficult to go back to my diet this morning, not gonna lie. Well, diet. At this point I really should just call it my normal eating habit. Oh, but man, did it remind me, man, I love bread. Let's see here. So, missing tag display name in raid message. Re-add raid message. And this way, we can basically do boop, boop, boop. Apologies for these sniffles, by the way. My ear is doing that thing again. I would really like to get that looked at. Message ID raid. Missing tag message ID. Display name. This should be instead of display name, this should be message param display name, and this should be message param viewer count. Yeah, we can do something like that. I feel like I should also include the I should include this. Got result. Yeah. Because if there's anything yeah, okay. Okay, let's see if I can do this with a macro. I've been playing around with Vim macros lately, and it's been a hot minute. So QD back X plonk. Nope. That ain't it. Nope. Oh. Yeah, I don't think I can do this with a macro particularly easily. A friend of mine over the holidays was showing me the wonders of Vim macros, which Vim macro is just a fancy version of automated tasks or automated typing, if you will. But oh, is it so good. Like being able to do something on one line, record it, and then just repeat that down as many times as you want. Like imagine taking a CSV file and then turning that into a JSON payload, but without having to manually type all that shit out over and over again. Oh. My eyes just lit up at the possibility. Okay. Go test funk. See where we're at. Success. Ta-da! So now we have this little helper function for has tag. And we should probably also do something like has command result user notice. T.fatalf. Missing command user notice. Got and so down here we have func has tag. Func has command is basically the same thing. Message and command is a string. It'll return a bool. Return strings dot contains. Yes. Oh right, because I didn't close it. There we go. Fix all that. All right, one more. Go test func. Dispatched. Success. Ta-da. All right, so where were we? Bot integration test, I think. Test command recognition. That was interesting. Wait. Wasn't I using this somewhere else? Packet IRC. I could have swore I was using that somewhere else. Oh no, I had started to. That's what it was. I had started, but I did not finish. A shame. A shame on me. All right. All right. Yeah. Okay, so that's all working as expected. So real quick, what I'm going to do though, is I'm going to stage these things, commit them, helper funcs for make IRC message and make grade message tested. Let's do that real quick. And now let's go over to the logging handler. I think it's fair to say at this point, because the original IRC message is effectively diluted, yeah, I feel like what I should do with this instead is not do that. I should say if evt.isChat event return, otherwise we print the message. So prefer IRC client tracing instead. So this way we still get the printouts for whenever we have a bits donation, a sub, a raid, etc. We'll still get that that kind of like JSON style printout to the console, but instead of a chat event being pasted here, instead in IRC we'll simply trace the inbound IRC message like so. So that'll give us something like hello world. Oh nope, that doesn't look right. Oh wait, where's that happening? Hang on a tick. Oh right, this was happening somewhere. Yeah, was this thing. Default do nothing. Agarman, thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab. And I apologize if I just butchered that name. I do that a lot. And Algol, thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab. Oh my goodness. So many people stopping in. Hello, hello. Yay, okay. So we're back to the uglier IRC messages, but the uglier IRC messages is kind of what I want because I get this form, which is a lot better. Hey, how you doing, Marvel? Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab. How is everybody doing today? Let's see here. I think... Oh, we're still getting a user state. Well, yeah, we're still getting a user state because we are not parsing it. Everybody is very excited for Marvel to be here, and rightfully so, to be perfectly honest. Oh, let's see here. Oh dear. It's going well, Agarman. How are you doing? Hope you all had a fantastic holiday. So we are sitting here attempting to make the bot just a little bit nicer to test. Commit. Refer raw IRC messages to logging handler. Do something like that. All right. So now I think we're in a position. I think we're in a position where we can do a proper test. Proper integration test. The Secret Kardashian, of course, we're excited. I am afraid to know where that where that scenario came from. How annoying is Twitch's API? When it comes to IRC, it's not very annoying. Mostly because I feel like IRC is a very well-defined spec. When it came to our attempts to use Twitch's pub sub, very annoying. The level of inconsistency made me very sad. Not gonna lie. It feels like eventually, whenever they get to event sub, which appears to be kind of the long-term goal, it feels like that's going to be a lot better. But for right now, not so great. Now, in terms of their HTTP API, we haven't really used that a whole lot. We've mostly been using the IRC client through WebSockets, which for me has been perfectly fine. The parsing of WebSockets was a little complex, but I think, I mean, we've probably gone through maybe 4 or 5 different iterations of this code, I think. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad in my opinion. So, oh, excuse me. Hello, ping, tmi.twitch.tv. Yeah, so now we got all this back, so I can now see.
Oh, good. My slow clap processor made it into this thing.
Thank you so much for the follow, Agarman. Appreciate it, and welcome to the lab. Digital lab coats will be available upon request. However, we cannot guarantee that they will actually fit because we haven't written tests for that yet, so we can't really guarantee anything. But thank you so much. Welcome. Okay. So I think it is now time. It's now time to write an integration test. And what I think I'm gonna do. I've always taken interns, Marvel, and it's never been paid. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, I do not have the disposable income to pay interns. Not fairly, anyway. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. Test. I feel like I should just call this test raids. That's really what we're doing. Yeah. Yeah, no. So let's see here. So this is going to require a lot. And there was something else that I wanted to do. Despite the attempts that I had made, and despite the changes that we made to turn the connection from an explicit WebSocket into the IO read-write closer interface, I don't feel that the byte buffer really does a great job of that piece. Yeah, I'm trying to think of how to describe this. So the original reason that I changed over from WebSocket to IO.readWrite closer was that in my head I was thinking, oh, in my tests I could just use a byte buffer, and then with the byte buffer I could just write to and from that buffer, and I could do easy comparisons accordingly. Not quite what happened, unfortunately. Byte buffer, while useful, is not the most convenient, I would say. So I feel that there's probably good cause to create a helper. And I think I'm actually going to put this into bot test. Medj Labs interns. There's no pay. There are no days off, but Medj is always thankful. There may be no days off, but you are free to take unlimited PTO. I guess technically it would just be unlimited TO. Can you call it PTO if there's no pay? Or do you call it PTO because the pay is 0? The answer to that may shock you. Bot test, and we want to call this test WebSocket.go. We want to track that. We want to CSU reset and test WebSocket package bot test. ZTO. I like that, actually. But then that would be 0 time off. But technically you have unlimited time off. UTO? That's a little suspect, not gonna lie. Alright, so bot test WebSocket. And this is going to contain what? I think we'll still use a byte stop buffer. And we'll have we'll have an internal byte stop buffer, and we'll embed async.mutex. And func new test WebSocket returns a WebSocket. Return WebSocket. And for this, buff. We don't have to make a new yeah, I think we'll just return WebSocket, because I don't think you actually have to initialize buff at all. So that should be fine. And now what we would like to do is we need to implement the IO read-write closer. So io.read-write closer. And this is going to be w WebSocket read. DST is a byte. And this returns an int and an error, if I remember correctly. Oh, right, we have to do that. Return len w dot buff dot bytes nil. Oops, that's not right. So now what we're doing is we're just adding a new all right, a address of. This needs to be an address of. This needs to be a pointer to. This needs to be an address of. There we go. I was confusing myself for a second there. Here. Okay. Oh, that's right. Read, write, closed, return. Technically, it should be w dot buff dot reset. Because if you close it, then there shouldn't be anything left. So that should be fine. So we are basically just creating a read-write closer. And how am I going to... Although the use of bytes is... the use of bytes buffer is kind of just continually complicating things. What I would really like to be able to do is something similar to a queue. First in, first out style queue. Because what that would allow me to do is to effectively have messages coming in get appended to the end, and then messages coming out get taken off the head. And I mean, a queue is nothing more than a very simple just slice. So we could say, yeah, let's do this. Let's say lines. A slice of string. But is that going to be effective? Because by creating a queue, let's see here. In order for it to be a queue, we're gonna have to be a little careful about that. Because we're gonna be doing a lot of memory copying, which is gonna make benchmarking a little interesting. Which is partially why I wanted to use bytes buffer. Let's see. Bytes buffer queue. Is there something similar? Golang. FIFO queue implementations in Go. Yeah, so this is more or less what my version of the queue was going to look like. And I feel like that's probably best for the sake of simplicity. So we're gonna say lines is make slice of string. It's not going to be sized. JK, it is going to be sized. We'll size it to 5 initially. And what we will do is that here we take this would be lines 0. This would need to be byte, like so. Well, so head would be lines 0. It looks something like that. W dot lines. That. Why wouldn't you be able to do that? Or does this just need to be a copy? Oh dear. Yeah, I think this needs to be like so. And then we can do like that. For the right, oh, and up here we also need to do a w.lines equals w.lines 1 on. So this effectively truncates the head of the list, and this is more or less how you can implement a queue. Which, because of the concurrent nature of what we are doing, we need to do a w.lock and a defer w.unlock. And this is more or less the attempt of the queue. So we pop a value off of pop it off of head, copy, or attempt to copy. I don't believe copy returns error. It does not. And then truncate. Like so. For right, we just do a w.lines. We need to do this thing. Boop. And for here, we say w.lines equals append w.lines string of data. And for this, we return something. I forget. Just len data nil. I think that's right. I honestly don't remember. And here we can say w.line equal. We don't care. Honestly, I think in this particular case, we don't care. I think that should be okay. Why is close only returning nil? More or less because close doesn't do anything.
Oh, good. My slow clap processor made it into this thing.
Garepa? I probably butchered that. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the lab. Digital lab coats will be available upon request. However, we cannot guarantee they will actually fit because if I can't even figure out how a close function works, how the hell can I figure out close? Thank you so much, though. Welcome. And why is it only returning nil? Mostly because we don't really have to do anything with this. Since this is a test WebSocket, bot test.websocket, which I really should change this to like test WebSocket to be very explicit. Cthulhu for that pun. Minor details. Oh, I didn't change that. My apologies. Hang on a tick. Hang on a tick. Command handler. Cthulhu. Like so. Like so. Like so. Yeah. Save. Come back over here. Cancel. Go run. Do the thing. Good morning, Spooky. Thank you so much for stopping by. How you doing? How was WoW? How was your holiday? How's your life? How's everything? Tell us all the things. Let's see here. So I need to go back to bot WebSocket. Test WebSocket. I feel like you can just say bot test.websocket and that should be fine. Thing. Truncate slice. How does one truncate a slice? Is it just the reference of Lin? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, that's fine. Now there is something that is very sketchy about this, which is more or less that if this attempts to read from an empty slice, so if len w.lines equal to 0, then return 0 nil. Do we return 0 nil or do we return an EOF? I feel like it's not EOF. Yeah, I feel like it's not EOF. Or maybe this is EOF. Maybe it is EOF. Into file, by the way. Yeah, that might be okay. We'll find out. We'll find out very quickly. Okay, so all of that was just to create, more or less was just to create a test WebSocket. And what am I gonna do with that? I feel like there should also be some more functionality wrapped into that as well. But we'll get to that in just a second. So ws equals bot test dot new test WebSocket. And then IRC equals IRC dot new client ws bot dot new, I believe was empty. Yep, doesn't take anything. And All right, now how are we doing this out here? Ah, yes, yes, yes. We need to register the client and then register the chat client. We'll say bot.register client, bot.set chat client. That will set up the inbound outbound behavior that we had before. And I think we also need to duplicate this part. Oh no, it's just literally just start, right? Yeah. I'm going to be late. So here we can just do an IRC dot if error equals IRC dot start IRC conf equals this. This is like all the setup necessary to get the bot up and running. Is there any advantage for COC over Vimgo? I don't think so. I use both. So I've got Vimgo running in the background, and I use that for GoPLS, for testing. I forget what the other pieces were. And then for COC, I think COC is currently doing the go to definition, go to reference, and those types of things. So yeah, I use both. Is there a way to use just one or the other? I think so. I just never got that far, to be perfectly honest. I actually have seen people that have turned COC off for Go because Vimgo was really good. I never got that far. All right. Let's see. Error does not equal to nil. T dot fatal F. Failed to start IRC client. V, and this would be error. Do some that. Here, we don't need to do any of that because it can literally just be super test secret, super spooky ghost machine test secret. Hey Spooky, do you have any issues being immortalized in my test suite? Yeah. All right. So user is going to be Medge Labs, channel is going to be Medge Labs. So say user and channel. Oh. Sorry, I heard gulping, and I was trying to figure out what that gulping was. Oh, right. This needs to be IRC client. Yeah, because I was shadowing variables there. Did not want to do. Could not import, no package. I did the thing again. I did more shadowing. Chatot? Chat-tot? No. No. And chatbot. Alright, so how's that? Is everything happy? Everybody happy? Package bot? Oh, we're in package bot. Yeah, so we don't need to import bot. Yeah, something like that. No. Alright, what'd I do? What'd I do? What I can. So what did I do?
Oh, good. My slow clap processor made it into this thing.
Oh my goodness, Phil, thank you so much for the gifted sub. Oh, that's so sweet. Guitar now has a lab coat. Da da da. Welcome to the lab assistants, Guitar. Holy shit, thank you so much, Phil. I appreciate it. And the bot actually caught it. The bot is working. Holy shit. Or at least it's the bot. Yep, it is, sure is. Haha. Sender's Fuel, recipient is guitar, message is nothing, amount is 0, title is nothing. Fantastic. I just love seeing features work. That is so fun. Eek. I agree, Phil. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Tilly is pleased. Tilly. Lop. Think. You sweet bean. You sweet girl, she's just hanging out. Okay, so cannot use IRC as client, wrong type or method. Which is interesting because IRC should implement client according to that. That's Tilly. He's my bean. I forget why I started calling her Bean, but it's stuck ever since. Interesting. I call one of my birds Egg. Every once in a while, I actually stumble because I'll look at Tilly and I'll say Bean, but I meant to say Tilly, but my brain just like stopped. It's like, wait, that's not her name. But no, it is her name. Bean is not her name. Tilly is her name. Then brain just splatters everywhere. Tilly. Tilly, why are you so fat? I don't know if y'all heard her, but she was like looking away, and then she just turned to look at me like, Mao. I'm sorry, Tilly, you're just fat. Why would IRC not be considered a client? Client has the interface set destination. IRC has set destination. More Tilly? Ooh. I don't know if she'll let me, but let's try. Tilly. Yeah. She doesn't like to be held too much, but... You gonna go crazy now? I should just get a second camera, like a second webcam, and stick it on the side of my desk. And then anytime somebody redeems cat cam, I just hit the button and it swaps to that camera. Well, we're going on Amazon real quick. Because I can't not let that idea go away. Logitech webcam. Which webcam do we got? Which webcam do we got? Oh, Jesus, they're expensive. Oh, that's right, because we're still in whatever this webcam shortage is that we have at the moment. Woof. To give you an idea as to what it is that I'm looking at the moment. To get another C930E, which is what this camera is, $185. Damn, chat. I think so. Yeah. Webcams just shot up in price over all of this. Actually, you know, that would probably work pretty well. And yet there's one that's $59.99. I know this is probably not the most interesting thing. Let's see here. Light to moderate signs of use, will function normally, be clean and include all accessories. Unit may or may not have tape residue on top or bottom of webcam. I mean, for literally $50 off, hell with it. And then webcam arm. Yes, I'm literally stopping stream to buy, basically to buy a webcam and a webcam arm for an idea that just like randomly popped in my head. Yes, am very, very professional streamer. Need to check out. $80 total. Not bad. That's not bad at all, actually. Oh yeah, we had a gift card because... Oh. You ask, and Marvel shall appear. I died in WoW to type those messages. Oh no. Well, Spooky, you're supposed to dominate. Supposed to dominate the PvP. And eventually, my ass is supposed to level up so that I can join you into PvPs. Soon. Very soon. Oh, and I definitely need to get this privacy cap thing. Yes. Place that delivery real quick. Alright. In the middle of stream, we have placed 2 Amazon orders. That's just how we do, right? You're stopping stream to buy indispensable equipment. I like your thinking, Feel. And now my phone is just exploding. Sweet. Okay. All right. Back to the bot. Had to Google words because speech 15. All right. So now, why is that not... Why is that not being recognized as a chat client? It makes no sense to me. Wrong type for method channel. Wrong type for method nothing. HF approves, oh dear. I mean, for all intents and purposes, I am a prime citizen. I'm a prime citizen living in my prime house with my prime machine, sipping on my prime coffee with my prime microphone, streaming to Twitch. It's a convenient life. What can I say? Okay, so wrong type for method and wrong type for method channel. That makes no sense. Because that is what it should be. Chan event returning nothing and then using a channel of events. Right? So then IRC, that destination abounds a channel bot.event, and this is a channel bot.event. Why would that not be working? No worries, Spooky. Why would that not be working? Color me confused. Color me very confused. Also, there's a key binding that I am not using at the moment, which I would like to be using. This might be stuff. Debug, breakpoint, that's all good. Thunderman, how are you doing, mate? Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab. Best shortcuts. This is going to be remap, leader, go test funk. Go test funk. Integration test. Herp. Import cycle not allowed in test. Yeah, that would cause a problem. Yep. I don't know how long it's been, but I'm here. Really tired and hungry, about to make some food and chill with Medj. Aw, shit. I am honored, my dude. Thank you so much for stopping by. Because the lab is always happy to have you. Okay, so we have created an import cycle.
Oh, good. My slow clap processor made it into this thing.
Life Pixel. Love that name. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the lab. Digital lab coats will be available upon request. However, we cannot guarantee that they will actually fit because, quite frankly, I am a coder and not a stitcher. Then again, shouldn't I be able to create digital lab coats? I think so. Aw, thank you for the host, Thunder. Appreciate it. Oh my goodness. So many people coming out, so many people supporting the lab. Although I'm about to run out of coffee. Minor detail. Right. When I stop drinking the good water, I have to start drinking the regular water. Crap. Oh dear. Alright, so we have an import cycle because of this. I'm support. You support the stream. And I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Zelda. Stretch. Hello, little stretchy. Need to get your nails trimmed. Okay, so if we can't do that, then I guess we probably need to create a dedicated package for it. Either that or we move it into the main. Yeah. Which, by the way, a quick shout out to Spooky Ghost Machine, who is a fantastically wholesome streamer and a very good friend. She's currently streaming WoW. Not gonna lie, that is super fun to watch. Like when you're playing WoW, especially when you're playing WoW with NoJoy and others, it's so fun to watch. It's like my jam. That style of content is my jam. Yeah, okay. I think for the time being, I'm gonna change this to package main. And then we're gonna do this out of them. So we're gonna move bot integration test. I'm gonna move this here to end-to-end test.go. Number 1 on my street. I'd believe it. I've seen the way that you play WoW. It's pretty baller. Not gonna lie. Oh, excuse me just a second. Ow. My ear. Okay. So if we do that, does that fix the issue? That appears to fix the issue. Okay. So we had to move the integration test into the main package, which for me is fine. For all intents and purposes, I'm not concerned. I don't necessarily know if we want to start this just yet. I don't think. Chatbot.register raid handler. Bot test.make template. Raids. Sender of amount, something like that. All right, do we have to do something special for this? Oh, right. Raid template equals handler template. Or how do we do this? We had a new handler. So raid template bot.new handler template, and then from this, delete, do that. That up like so. Yeah, no, that needs to be that. And then chatbot.register raid handler. Raid template. And delay seconds is 0. Okay. As you can see, the process of setting up a in-memory integration test or an in-memory end-to-end test, significant, to say the least. But in theory, if this works, then we'll be able to send a message to the WebSocket let that go all the way through the IRC client, the bot, and the handler. And then eventually out the other end, we should receive a message on this WebSocket. And that message should more or less be this. I'm reading that properly. So what I would like to do, I would like to make some convenience functions. So send and message is a string, and this is really just a this is just a helper function, a convenience method over write. Because all this does is w.write byte of message. And then received contents is a string. This will return a bool. And what we can do in fact, we can basically just check if this was received explicitly, I believe. So for underscore line equals range of lines. If line equals contents, return true. Otherwise, not found, return false. Range w.lines. And then this is received indicates if the given message contents was ever received on this WebSocket. And then send is a convenience method over write. Mostly just to give this a little more of an Englishy feel. Oh, right. I didn't do that. Save all that. E2E test. Oh, nope. E2E. So let's see here. I think we need to do that. So the steps for basically all of these is going to be initialize the test WebSocket, initialize IRC, initialize the bot, initialize the handler that we're doing, and then start the IRC client, assuming that doesn't fail. Now here we should be able to do ws.send bottest.make raid message. This is going to be user 5 channel like so. And then we should see raid, or we should see Medge Labs, or say user raid of raid size. So we're going to do that. RAID of amount. Yep. All right. So expected. We'll do this down here. So expected is fmt.sprintf %s RAID of %d. This is going to be user, and this will be RAID size. So RAID size is 5, because why not? Will be RAID size. If not, ws.receive expected message is actually what I'm going to call it. Can you tell that I like English in my tests? T dot fatal F did not see expected RAID message. And in fact, we'll do a so we'll do a WS dump, and then here we'll do that, and we'll do WS dot we'll do a WS dot string method. So in test WebSocket, we have send received. W is of type WebSocket. String returns a string, and then strings.builder for underscore line equals range w.lines sb dot write line b dot write string new line, and then return sb dot string. Do like so. Oops. And this will just be a convenience method so that we can see string returns the current WS line buffer as a new line delimited string. So this will just kind of help us if we run into an error of some kind. This will help us see the contents of WebSocket, allegedly. Although I say that realizing that we don't really do that because read is destructive. Because of this, I feel like instead of doing this, we should actually do what is effectively like a read cursor. Yeah, I think we should do that. So read cursor is an integer, and read cursor is 0. And what read cursor is going to be used for is inside of read, head equals w.read cursor. Copy that in, and then we're just going to do w.read cursor plus plus. And the thought there is that if I'm if I'm doing the queue approach, and I should probably also do a speed.write string current cursor, or we should just say read cursor at %d w dot read cursor. That maybe. So what that's going to do is give me, oh, cannot convert read cursor. Yeah. Okay. So let me that back like so. Okay. t.sprintf. This will just give me some insight into what has been read, what is on the buffer, and it should make debugging a little bit easier whenever things go wrong, which things are very much going to go wrong. And then down here, we're just using read cursor. This is definitely going to cause a nil pointer. So here, if len w.lines equal to 0 or w.read cursor is greater than or equal to len of w.lines, i.e. overflow condition, then I think that's EOF. So we'll just kind of leave that as is. Otherwise, we do the fault. It's very synchronous. It's not representative of what a real WebSocket would actually be doing, and we might improve that a little bit later. But for now, I think that should be okay. God forbid. Yep. Yeah, so this is more or less what I was wanting it to do. So when we see a test error, we didn't see the expected RAID message. Which why? Oh, right, because we're not going to have. We could also make a wait function. Tempting. Now, and I think this is because the RAID handler is running as a Go routine, so that's happening concurrently. So we are going to have to wait, I think. In some capacity, we are going to have to wait for that. We got the pass, we got the nick, got the join. I think that's okay. And we got both cap requests. And we did get the RAID IRC message, which is good. We just haven't gotten the handler notice, which is kind of to be expected. Just try a time.sleep of 3 times time.second. I don't know that that's going to make a difference, but we're going to try. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. And did we actually register the bot. We did register the raid handler. Okay. Oh, but I don't think we set up. No, we did. We did. Oops. E2E. 848. Okay. Okay. Eventually come through the IRC client. Let's see. Yep, so that should be. Did I start up a short test stream in Rageu? No, that we won't see that in the main code. This is just test code. So bot.send message. BT equals new chat event. Bot.send event, which send event goes to the chat client's channel. You know, let me just go ahead and trace this. Outbound to IRC plus EVT dot printf out. Or just say out to IRC sent plus v. This will be EVT. Eventually, I was going to create more or less a trace package, which would kind of allow me to, in the initial term, it would probably just be a, it would probably just be a bunch of log.print lines. But that trace would at least give me something to say, okay, I want to trace this, I want to trace this, I want to trace this, and then eventually I want to plop that out into some kind of a trace report so that when things go wrong, I can kind of reference that trace report when I need it. Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot of messages. What's going on? A lot of stuff. We'll deal with the stuff. Okay. So what do we need to do? Go test -v -run test raid. I forgot how I was supposed to do that. Oh, was it Control B? Yeah, there we go. Test raids. IRC read empty message buffer. But I don't see. Air IRC read message. Okay. So I think that means that our test WebSocket is probably going to have to be a little bit smarter and blocking. Trying to think of how I would do that. Because technically the whole point is to be synchronous. So maybe the issue is not so much that I need to be asynchronous. So what I'm kind of running into is that it appears that IRC is breaking because of, I don't know why you'd be doing that. It appears to be breaking because the read, whenever there's nothing there, we're just returning. We're not actually doing anything. Whereas what I think we should be doing here is basically waiting until there's more stuff to read. Which is a little sketch. Yeah. I'm not keen on this idea. So what this will effectively do is permalock until lines are available, which means that we would want this to be down here so that we don't create a deadlock on ourselves. Otherwise, time.sleep 1 times. Ooh. Yeah, I'm not keen on this. Block until lines available is more or less what we're doing there. So if length of w.lines does not equal to 0, then we break out of the for loop and then we let the rest of the code go. I'm not sure how I feel about that. To be perfectly honest, I'm not feeling particularly great about it. Still getting an empty buffer, though, which is interesting. Huh. That shouldn't be the case. This is interesting. So what I'm effectively doing is I am attempting to recreate the behavior of a network request, where if there's data available, it will give it to you. If there's no data available, then it will lock. It'll block. Sorry, not lock. Block. Read waiting. God, that is going to explode. -v -run test raid. Blech. Why it does that, I'm not entirely sure. Or is the... Oh, wait, no. Is it just because the first... Oh, nope. No. Best WebSocket. I think it's because of this. This needs to be 0. I think. If that's what was actually happening, I'm gonna be upset. Still a failure. Set amount. Message.go 64. We've seen that error before. Oh, which color would you like? And thank you so much for stopping by, NoJoy. It is fantastic. Bungus? Could somebody assist in identifying what color Bungus is? Let's see here. What would Bungus be? Bungus would be like... whatever that color is? You might call it yellow. I can do kinda yellow. Although the light back there is definitely making that a little bit difficult. Let's see here. I think you're going to get the yellow light, but it's not really going to show up on the camera very well, unfortunately. But I will change it for you. That has got to be the ugliest color that I think this light has ever done. And I like it. And welcome, NoJoy. Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab. Redeem my own stretch here. Okay, so message.go 64. Parse IRC line. I think what I'm going to do is if message equals empty string, or if strings dot trim space message equals empty string, log dot print line warn, attempt to parse empty IRC line. Term go test. Let's see what we get. Nope. Interesting. Message 69. Which is the exact same spot. That makes me think that I might have goofed. Log.println trace. Or not println, printf. Trace parts. Parts, %s. Or %v, we'll just say, and then this will be parts. Back in term. Do the test again. B. And right before, ooh, okay. So we ended up with an empty parts. Why do we do that? Well, I can do something about that. If len of parts is equal to 0, continue. Random chance of empty tag. No panicking. I think we don't need that. Well, actually, yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. And return message. Feels like there should just be a message that's just like unknown or invalid. Just something to catch when that case happens. Although technically we haven't actually run into that case. So strange. We're still running into it. Really? Message 75? Didn't I just... What? All right, if len parts is less than 2. Also, what is this? No panic. Pause, champ. I know. I'm sitting here like, is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? Probably not. Did not see expected raid message. Okay. Okay. So we're getting the user notice. Oh, it's because of that trailing semicolon. Shit. So it was getting an empty tag because there was a trailing semicolon. And because there's a trailing semicolon, it's treating that space as another tag. Because what we're supposed to do is there's not supposed to be a trailing semicolon here. Ah, shit. All right. So that means that we need to go to our bot test packet IRC. And we actually need to remove that somehow. How do we... How would we do that? I don't think we can. Not with this form, at least. I guess we're just going to have to do this. And then stern dot... do we have a string? Strings dot replace string. This will be space semi with semicolon. Return string. No? Int n. What is n? Place returns a copy of the string with the first n non-overlapping instances of old replaced by new. Oh, this should just be 1. So this removes trailing semicolon from last tag. Something like so I think that will fix that. Can you tell I'm confident in that statement? Can you see that I am no longer confident in that statement? Oh, I think I know why. Because this returns the string. Oh, this is silly. It's silly, but kind of fun. Fun to me, at least. Whether it's fun to you all, that is to each your own discretion. There we go. Okay. All of that to just fix one tiny little semicolon. Yeah. But that still doesn't fix this issue, which is that, so we're now at recursive 6. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or technically it would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we're actually waiting past this part. So we're not getting out of the RAID handler is not sending its message, which is interesting. Which means that IRC is not parsing properly. So that should be identifying it as a RAID message. Interestingly enough, it's not. So the question is why? It's times like this where I wish that I was a little bit more comfortable with the debugging tool. That's very interesting. Okay. So it seems like the the message is making its way to IRC as we expect. So the bot's starting up. The message is making its way to IRC just fine. Just fine. But it doesn't appear to be going to the RAID handler, which IRC out here. It should be a user notice, and it should be seeing it as a RAID message. RAID. So we should at least see that. Or we should at least see no message. Nope, it sees it as a RAID. Okay. Okay, so that's a start. So it sees it as a RAID. Is the bot not listening? The bot's not listening. The bot's not listening. So, I had to do this in a very specific order. It was set bot.start. Yeah. Okay. Now the question is, can I just do this? I think I can just do that. I think I can just do that. Panic runtime. Okay. So this is a problem. Oh, right. Okay, so this is not a thing. Actually, so this needs to be if length of lines does not equal 0 and w dot read cursor is less than len w dot lines, which should prevent that panic. So effectively, the wait condition for this is not just whether or not we have data available, which would be the first part of the if condition. It would also be that after we've read that message, we're now waiting for another message. So if read cursor is at 6, let's see here. Yeah. So if read cursor is at 6, the length of lines is at 6, then that means that there's no new message to read. So we also want to wait in that capacity. That is very interesting that we hit that condition. Because that should have caught it. Well, maybe not. Okay, let's see. So go test func. Dispatched and failure. Eventual failure. Eventual failure. That's okay. Okay. Hello, really, Frank. Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab. Welcome to us attempting to do... Welcome to us attempting to build an end-to-end test for raids and recognizing all the fun that comes in with that. We are not seeing... We're not seeing that message yet. Let's see. Okay, we see the raid. Read waiting. That's a lot of read waiting. But come this way. Okay. So this is still not making its way to the handler, to the raid handler. Oh, maybe, yeah, I think it was after the handler, then we start the bot. Then we start the chat bot. Then we do the thing? This is a little convoluted, to say the least. Where did we end up at? Hey, we did it! Okay, so now we're getting... Now everything's starting to come through. Okay, so that was the problem. We were starting the bot and then trying to register the handler again, which we can't do. Okay, that's good. Progress. So we're seeing all of these. We've got the raid message, and then we've got the priv message going back out. And the problem is that we're not checking for the right content. We're checking only for MedgeLab's rate of 5, but it's sending a priv message of MedgeLabs with a rate of 5. Okay, so that's fixable. That's easily fixable. So if we come back here, an expected message, we could just say priv message, MedgeLabs, something like that. At least I think that's what it was. We can also get rid of all those read writers. Didn't I make a check for that? That's a fair point, actually. Yeah. That's a fair point. So that check didn't happen. Something to look into. Oh, I think I see what's wrong. Channel is supposed to be plus channel. Yeah, to-do. Go test func. Dispatched. I don't think we need... Oh my god, it worked. I actually don't think we need the time.sleep now. Since everything... GTF. GTF. Try that again. Import and not use time. Yeah, I don't think we need that, that sleep now. Fail. Okay. Maybe we do need the sleep. Aha. Maybe we do need the sleep. We just don't need it to be 1 second. No worries, Spooky. Thank you so much for the lurk. Goes like that. Yep. Oh, it worked. Holy shit. That was a lot. That was a lot. That was a lot. All right. So we don't need that. We didn't do anything there. have I been fighting with this for long? Since the beginning of stream, I want to say. I need a rip grab. Wait. Read. Waiting. There it is. That to go away. So sorry. My ear is being a pain in the ass now. Right at what would be close to the end of stream, and now it's just like constantly hearing my my own muffled voice in my head, which is bleh. Okay. So really, Frank, just to kind of catch you up a little bit. So what we ended up doing, login ported but not used. In the bot test package, we created a bot test.websocket, and the intent of that was more or less to, instead of using a raw byte buffer like we were originally using for the fake WebSocket connection in test, I basically just wanted to create something that was a little more ergonomic to use, and so I decided to create this bot test WebSocket. Now, whether or not WebSocket is the proper word here, or if we want to use something else, not sure yet. But all this is a wrapper around a slice of strings, and then we use read cursor to say just like what's been read up to this point. And then there's just some simple some helper functions for send, to check if a particular line was received, a helper to do basically a WS dump of what we've received up to that point and where the read cursor is currently at. And then down here we have the implementation of read write closer. And from that we get the end-to-end test, which end-to-end test right now is in package main because we were creating a circular dependency if we had it in the bot package. And this is more or less a first attempt at a full, like, start to finish. Here's a test WebSocket, but set up the IRC, set up the chatbot, set up the handler, send it from start to the handler and back out again, and just make sure that we actually receive the message that we were expecting. Which in this case is just to make sure that we received a message, more or less. And I think the last thing that we should do for this test is to ensure that it doesn't respond to the wrong message. Which for this can just be a ws.send bot test.make IRC message. Should skip. Sender is user. Command is priv message. This is channel. And tag. String 0. Yeah, there we go. How would I want to do this? Because effectively what I would be doing is like waiting for a short period of time and ensuring that a message doesn't come. I think that's right. Yeah, I think that seems right. So this would be unexpected message. Approved message, Medulabs rate of here I think would be 0. And then if we receive the unexpected message, I don't know if this is as sound. Yeah, not sure that this would be as sound. Received raid response to a non-raid message. And then we can copy this part. That. I'm not sleep to account for the go routines. Go test func, see what happens. Oh, we're gonna use log. Why the sleep? In short, yes. It would be because of the go routines. Go routines in the background. Which I don't think it really makes sense to have this sleep for like 1 second. It might be perfectly acceptable to just do like millisecond. I think. What would make more sense, possibly, is if we had some kind of a blocking routine, or some type of possibly some type of like channel based approach. But yeah, so because the IRC reader runs in a go routine, the bot reader runs in a go routine, and then the raid handler runs in a go routine. All of those things not being synchronous effectively makes it very inconsistent. If we don't include that sleep, it will inconsistently pass and fail. So I added the sleep as more or less an assurance that, more or less as a wait until this thing should happen, and then see what happens. If that makes any sense, because now that I've actually like verbalized it, it doesn't make sense in my head. But yeah. What probably makes more sense is on the test WebSocket, something like you said, either a trigger processing function for the next received. So something like on next received would probably make more sense. We would still be doing the same thing, in effect. It would just be in the WebSocket, which would actually make testing a little bit more concise. Oh wait, so are you saying to add something into the main code to bypass go routines? Thinking. Brain is parsing many things. Because I think what was on my mind was something like a W WebSocket. What's the phrase? Like wait for next. Or something of that nature. And perhaps if we wanted to, we could do a duration in here, but the idea would be that the test WebSocket would effectively block until it received a new until it received a new line, if that makes any sense. Which for both read and write, we do. Oh, okay. So I don't really want to do that because I don't want to change in end-to-end tests. I don't want to change the regular behavior because the goal of the end-to-end test is to test the bot as close to real production as humanly possible. So I don't want to add what is effectively escape hatches in the code to bypass that behavior, if that makes sense. I would probably do that. Well, actually, technically, I already do that in the handler unit tests. I do something similar. It's not quite message driven, but it's something similar. But I don't want to change the behavior, if that makes sense. I'd rather the test have mechanisms for waiting than change the behavior of a concurrent system. The question there, though, is how would I do that? Because on the one hand, I could just do a wait for next. But in order for wait for next to work, I would basically have to tell wait for next what my current read position is, and then it would basically block until I get something beyond that read cursor. I don't know that that would be as useful. Complicated, yeah. Because it would be something like ws.wait. It would look something like that. It would replace the need for an explicit time.sleep, except that we would still be doing a time.sleep. It would just be later, which is not really benefiting anything necessarily. It does kind of make the test a little bit more brittle because we're saying we should receive a response after X amount of time. What I could possibly do... Let me try this. ws.wait for next. And then wait for next is going to do this. Func w of WebSocket. Wait for next. Wait for next maybe use a sync.condition. The problem is that the condition is I'm at this message and I want to wait for the next message. So what I think I can do, I think I can do this. So I lock, and since I'm doing lock on read and write, I'm fairly confident I can do this. I say lock, see here, current equals w.read cursor, w.unlock, and then I can just do a for. If w.read cursor does not equal to current, break. Otherwise, not microsecond, millisecond, we sleep. So in a nutshell, and this is the theory, is that so I lock at a particular point in time, I grab the current read cursor, I immediately unlock so I don't create a deadlock on myself, and then we wait. The challenge here is whether or not that wait wouldn't block any concurrent processes. So wait for next grabs the current read cursor and then blocks until a concurrent process until a concurrent process sends reads another message. Perhaps it's a little sketch, but it's basically lock, grab where we currently are, immediately unlock, and then go into a loop and wait until a concurrent process provides new data. Although we wouldn't necessarily want to do this. I think we would just want to do current equals len of w.lines. And then we should just do that check again. If len w.lines is not equal to read current, that's what we really want. Until a concurrent process produces another message. And I want to be explicit about the concurrent process part because this is more or less an attempt to solve the concurrent issue of waiting. So current is the length of the current lines. Once we receive a new line, then we can break out of the for loop. Otherwise, we sleep until we get that. That's the theory. I sound confident, but let's see if it actually works. Nope. Time. We're not using time. Oh dear. And now I can hear the, yep, panic test timed out after 10 seconds. Oh, right, because we can't do this. Yeah, we can't do wait for next on this one. That was what was failing. Okay. Holy shit! Now, what we can also do yeah. Seems sketchy. How come? This is something very similar to what I do for actor-based testing. Now that I think about this, effectively, what we're doing is we're implementing a wait condition inside of what is effectively a concurrent process, but we're basically creating a join point, I think is what it's called. It's like all these concurrent processes are all joining on a single point, which in our case is the WebSocket, the test WebSocket. And the test WebSocket, without being a thread.join, I think that should be fine. Now that last time.sleep I'm not too keen on, because what we're effectively saying is we shouldn't see a message. We shouldn't see a message at all. And the only way that I know to do that is more or less with a 50 millisecond stop. Although we don't actually have to do that. We don't have to do that because we're already checking that in the unit test. The unit test is already checking that the RAID it would be checking that the RAID handler doesn't respond to a RAID message. And it's also got a unit test that's checking that IRC is not erroneously flagging a value as a RAID, or as a message as a RAID. So we don't actually have to do that. We can literally just do, this is what should happen. Can't it have timing issues? Were you referring to the thing that I just deleted, really, Frank? Or are you referring to the wait for next? I'm so thankful that Go's test framework just auto panics if it goes longer than 10 seconds. Like, that's just so good. Can it have timing issues? It could, I think. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Because read and write are technically both synchronous at the moment. Technically. So from the perspective of the concurrent side of things, the test WebSocket is kind of becoming that join point. Concurrent things can access it, but they basically wait in line. But the short answer is yes. It could have timing issues if the write for whatever reason was faster than this wait for, which in our case is this part here. So if the time between the send and the wait for is longer than how long it takes the RAID message to send, which we can actually fix that. I can ensure that that doesn't happen by doing that, I think. It adds a second to the test, which is fine. But what that does is on the register RAID handler, I have a delay seconds action. And so I can add a delay seconds here. Technically, I could probably make this a 0. No, it's because it's an integer. Yeah. Oh. Maybe you should have a send and wait for next. Ah, I see. That's actually kind of interesting. So if we had something like this, send and wait. It's kind of the same thing. Kind of. In fact, it is the same thing. I think we still want to do that. We can't double lock. And I don't think it makes sense for this to exist and this to exist, because more or less, I don't really think that we need both. Overwrite that also waits for a response to arrive. Or I should say, a new message to arrive. And then yeah. And then what I think I'll do is I'll do a w.lock here. W.write. Yoink, plonk. Then we just bring this logic up here. Which is more or less the same thing, I think. So this is more or less for a...
Dropping some bits and dropping a lurk. Hope you had a good Christmas.
Thank you so much, Drybones. I appreciate it. Welcome to the lab. Thank you so much for the lurk. And I did. I hope your Christmas was good as well. I don't know if you can double lock like that. Yeah, I don't think you could, because then this would be deadlocked. So in effect, write would have to, in order for this to work, write would have to be like so. The send and wait would have to be like this. So now this is locked. We write the message, we grab the current number of lines, and then we unlock. And then we start doing this. No, I like the idea, really, Frank. It does... it did bring up the question in my mind of, is there any reason why I shouldn't have a send and wait? And I think the answer is no, because most of what we're going to be doing in this end-to-end test is effectively send and then wait for a response so that we can do ws.received. Hey, sorry, can't think of one. Thanks so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab, and a Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to the both of you, because you know who I'm talking about. But yeah, no, I think it makes sense, really, Frank. Because that's always what we're going to be doing in this particular case. Is sending and then waiting for the response, for a response to come in, and then ensuring that the received message is the message that we're expecting. So that makes sense to me. And the ultimate goal of these is to be documenting. Like, I want these tests to be able to document more or less how the bot works in some capacity, and also to document how the initialization piece happens. We've got our WebSocket, we've got our IRC client, we've got the bot, we've got a RAID handler. We start the IRC client, we start the bot. I don't think we actually have to do that. I think we can put the start up here. Let's double check that. Yeet. We do the bot, we do the raid templates. We must start the bot after the handler is registered. That way it's at least documented in the test why we do that. And then we have our check. Holy shit. We did a thing. We did a good thing, I think. Hell yeah. Oh, we got a buffer. I don't need that buffer. Goodbye. I don't know what we did in here. Get diff. So now we've got our check for empty. So let's start there. So get add IRC message. Commit -m. What do we want to say? Defend against. Can you tell I've been watching a lot of medieval movies? Defend against invalid lines and tags. An IRC parsing. What else do we have? We have our end-to-end test. The test WebSocket. Packet IRC. In fact, I should probably add bot test, packet IRC with the last commit, since that does fix the last commit. And then what else do we want in here? We've got the test WebSocket, got the end-to-end test. That's it, I think. Yay. Get commit -m, end-to-end test for raids added. Test WebSocket added for easier network mocking than byte stop buffer. It's a bit longer of a commit message than I am preferential to, but and also we're going to do a get checkout -b E2E raids, get push origin E2E raids, get branch -d main, get big, get checkout main. So now main should be reset back to origin. Pretty sure there's an easier way of doing that. I'm just too lazy. So this will be end-to-end test for raid messages, and we'll more or less use that as a as an example for what the new for what the other end-to-end tests are going to look like, which will be fantastic because if we add new features, which I would like to get to, if we add new features, then those new features can more or less follow the same functionality. Okay. So, fix packet IRC to not append trailing semicolon to the tags of the test IRC messages. Maybe fuel. I feel like I should just do that. I feel like I should probably just do that in this stream. Let's see here. Bot test.websocket added for more convenient network mocking than byte stop buffer. Your fix to the command is going to be slipped in here. Cleanup logging handler to only print non-chat messages. Let IRC print the raw payload instead, since that is more valuable to us from a debugging and testing perspective. And then add E2E test for raid message. And there we go. All right. I am going to I'll go ahead and drop that there, and I'll also drop that in the Discord server here in a little bit. But I think we're gonna call today here. That was a hella productive day, and it feels really good to actually get a full end-to-end test working. So as always, I'm going to leave this PR up for a little while, and then I'll probably merge it sometime this afternoon, just to give people time to look at it. But hell yeah, we have end-to-end tests. I will also probably off stream, I will probably go in and make more end-to-end tests for chat messages, bit messages, sub messages, just basically fill in the gaps for all the things that we've been manually testing up to this point, which thank you again to all of you that were so gracious to manually test those things for me. It is very much appreciated. So yeah, I am looking forward to that. But basically just expect a copy paste of this code, but for a chat message, a bit message, a sub message, and so forth. The other thing, so I will go ahead and close out the task for add test for raid handler, which is fantastic. I will also add the ASCII art for the Cthulhu command. We'll see if it looks good. It probably won't, but we'll find out. And then I think next time we may look into benchmarks. That is next on the to-do list for the Trello board. But thank you so much for stopping by, Spooky. Thank you so much to everybody for stopping by. Until next time, take care, stay curious. Hope you all had a fantastic holiday, and we will see you all next time. Take care.